Brandon Neuman, Democrat for PA Superior Court. Why are you running for this office?
Well, this is a very important office. Whenever you look at the Pennsylvania Superior Court, it truly is the people's appellate court. So most appeals that deal with individuals do end up going to the Superior Court. The topics are topics that interest me, from when I was a private litigator doing civil litigation to statutory construction as a legislator, and now I've had just about every docket that would go to the Superior Court. And the topics that go to the Superior Court are ones that are just very interesting to me and ones I look forward to taking on.
Now, you're currently a judge, but let's talk about the court you're aspiring to be on, the PA Superior Court. How does this court fit into our legal system?
So when you first, generally, you either go to a magistrate or court of common pleas first, okay? And then you have an absolute right of appeal to the Pennsylvania Superior Court for topics that the Superior Court handles. Now, the Superior Court handles the vast volume of cases that get appealed. And then there's an equivalent court, shouldn't say equivalent, but same level court of Commonwealth Court, which handles more specialized cases that deal with government entities. And then if you want to appeal a decision from the Superior Court, it goes up to the Supreme Court. So the Superior Court, the Court of Common Pleas is where they develop all the facts and they make rulings. The Superior Court has a record. They use the facts that were developed at the Court of Common Pleas, and Superior Court makes sure that the law was followed correctly.
Now, Superior Court, being an appellate court, fixes errors in law. Just try to give us a simple example of that.
Yeah. So, for instance, if a Court of Common Pleas judge just either procedural error or an error of law, if a Superior Court notices that the Court of Common Pleas judge made an error either based on current statute or precedent that was set by the Superior Court, the Commonwealth Court, or the Supreme Court, they look at those issues very closely, determine if there's an error. If there is an error, there's a couple things they can do. They can remand the case, they could correct the error, but generally they remand the case either for more proceedings or remand the case giving instructions to the Court of Common Pleas judge as to how to remedy that error.
What kind of case most often comes to the Superior Court looking for an appellate? For an appeal, rather. Yeah,
so I would say the bulk of them are probably criminal cases. Now, do the bulk of the criminal cases get substantive opinions? Probably not. There are a lot of civil cases that are more in depth legally, and the issues you have to look at a lot closer. But just because of the pure volume of criminal cases that go through the system here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, that would probably be the majority. But your family law cases go to the Superior Court. All of these cases are very, very important to people that went to the Court of Common Pleas and now believe that they want to appeal the decision from the county. And so we know how important it is for each individual.
Before we met today, I was looking at the PA Superior Court website, and it said that this court is often the final arbiter for legal cases. Why is that?
When I'm on the Superior Court, we can't decide if we're going to take or not take a case. The Supreme Court does have that discretion. And so that is why, the Supreme Court will pick cases here and there, but the vast majority of cases do end at the Superior Court because you have a right of appeal. Anyone can appeal to the Superior Court if it is within their jurisdiction.
Try to give us a good idea of the workload in this court and how busy it actually gets and how a judge would have to figure out a good way to manage their time.
Yeah, so it's volume. There is a lot of cases that come to the Superior Court. So one, you have to be able to understand complex issues or issues of significance that are coming to the Superior Court. You have to review all of their filings. So there is a lot of paperwork, a lot of transcripts that you have to read, because remember, the facts end with the Court of Common Pleas. And so we get the transcripts to determine what was done at the trial level at the Court of Common Pleas. And so then you have to be able to chart and make sure that you're making timely rulings. I have a very busy court right now. I'm in Civil Division in Washington County, and it's one that I'm able to really handle in an efficient way, make sure that I understand all the issues, and preparation whenever you get all these cases really helps. When you hear the arguments and then you make the decisions, if you are prepared, that goes a long way in making an efficient decision.
What kind of adjustments are you prepared to make if you're able to go from common pleas court to this court you're aspiring to, Superior Court?
Yeah, so there's going to be a number of adjustments. So you get some more law clerks. You have an organization in your office that you have to get prepared. You have to have a system within your office to make sure that all the cases that are going to come before you, they are organized and you are prepared for argument day. And then once argument day comes, if the case is assigned to me as a judge, and then it is about making sure that I understand the issues that are coming before me and make sure that I are well studied on the law and the facts that were presented.
Now, take a minute to contrast the cases you're working with now currently with the cases that you would be handling on Superior Court. What would be the big change for you?
The biggest change is we are not on any type of fact-finding mission at the Superior Court. So you are developing a record, a very good record at the Court of Common Pleas level through witnesses, through testimony, generally through what you see on TV court, right? You develop that case. Those are the facts of the case, and you apply the law to those facts. When it gets to the Superior Court, those facts are already developed. There are no new facts that are going to be developed. And so it's really just a review of everything that was presented in the Court of Common Pleas and to make sure that things are happening equally across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. They're happening in a way that the Supreme Court precedent says and the Superior Court precedent and the law.
Within your Court of Common Pleas, there's a veteran specialty court, I understand. Why is a special court necessary for veterans?
So it's a fantastic program in Washington County. The veterans that come before me have gotten into the criminal justice system for some reason. And so this is the point of where we can pivot them to make sure that they have all the services that they earned as a veteran. We are connected with the VA. We are connected with probation, their attorney, and the Commonwealth. And we develop a very individualized program to make sure that they're getting all the benefits that they need. Most importantly, that they're successful in the program so that they don't have any type of recidivate at all when it comes to the criminal justice system. And when they leave there, we're hoping that they become mentors for other veterans. It's a very rigorous program. It's a very successful program. And it's one that our veterans, because of their service and their time to our country, has earned. And we're happy to be able to tie them all together to make sure that they have a system in place that will, at the end, they'll be very successful.
What kind of problems do these veterans often have in common?
So there's a couple things. Some are drug and alcohol, some are mental health, some are both. So it's either single diagnosis or dual diagnosis, and we make sure that they get all the evaluations and proper treatment that they need to address any type of issues that they may have. But those are the most common things that we see when they come to Veterans Court.
Now let's talk some more about your past. Before you were a judge, you were a lawyer. What kind of law did you practice?
I was a civil litigator. So basically anything that we represented people that were injured in nursing homes, people that medical malpractice, things of that nature. So I did plaintiff civil litigation.
And why did you want to become a judge eventually?
So it was a number of reasons. So I was in the legislature before then, and so I was traveling a lot. I saw an opportunity for, I have 4 kids, and so it was an opportunity for me to be home a lot more. I enjoy public service. I love the law and everything that comes with it. And I really enjoyed dealing with people. And so the Court of Common Pleas was a perfect fit for my legal background, where I was in my personal life, and the interests that I have in helping people.
What are the lessons you learned in the Court of Common Pleas that you think are really going to help you and can carry over to Superior Court if you win that seat?
Yeah, I think it's very important that an appellate court has extensive experience at the Court of Common Pleas level. I'm fortunate enough to have it as a judge. We make rulings I make rulings every single day, and the breadth of experience I had on Court of Common Pleas, from family law to dependency to criminal court to now civil court and veterans court, as you mentioned, that gives me a great foundation of the issues that are going to be brought to the Superior Court. They're issues of interest to me, and they are ones that I've been able to study and really make a lot of rulings already on issues that are going to the Superior Court. And
speaking of issues, let's talk about the issues you had to address when you were a representative in the House of Representatives.
Yes. So, that is a policy type position. So you're drafting laws now that I interpret. You're doing statutory construction, laws now that I review and can look at statutory construction. I'd say the most significant law that I got passed as prime sponsor was enshrining the Debbie Smith Act in Pennsylvania, which put guidelines in place to speed up the testing of rape kits. And so we were able to get timely justice for victims of rape, and it was also to get perpetrators and criminals off of the streets quicker and make sure that we were protecting our community from any type of rapist. And so now we have guidelines in place where rape kits do not sit in evidence lockers. They get tested in a timely fashion to protect the victims and protect our community.
So in your mind, what's it like having that experience, having been a representative and now you're an impartial judge?
Yeah,
as you said, you could potentially end up interpreting a law that you wrote.
That's right. So, I mean, you take all that into consideration. When there are plenty of laws that I voted on that I'm currently overseeing now as a judge. It gives me a unique perspective. I most likely would be the only candidate that's ever written a law, gotten a law passed, had to look at statutory construction, argued against laws that I didn't feel were necessary to be passed, those types of things, and really studied each law from the beginning to the end. And so that puts me in a unique perspective to go to the Superior Court and handle issues like that.
While you were a representative, you were on the Judiciary Committee, and what kind of issues did you deal with there that might even help inform your views today as a judge?
So once again, it goes back to statutory construction. It goes back to looking at how laws are passed, how they are written. Words mean something whenever you are drafting laws. And so we as judges have to interpret those laws, make sure that they are done in a fashion that is not contrary to the Constitution, make sure that they're done in a fashion that in a way that they are unambiguous, and make sure that those laws are being followed here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Let's talk some more about the office you're running for here, Superior Court Judge. So let's start with the basics. How long a term does a Superior Court Judge
It is a 10-year. No, it's a 10-year term, unless for some reason you would age out. For me, I would not age out. The age limit is 75, but it is a 10-year term.
And how is that established? And are there similar rules for other superior courts in other states?
So every state is different. A lot of states don't elect their judges. They go through an appointment process in their states. There are other states that have similar term limits, the 10 years plus retention, because you don't run for re-election whenever you run for judge, you run for retention. That's the way to make it nonpartisan after your first race. But every state is different in how they treat judges and secure them on the bench.
And when you run for retention, that's just a matter of the voter voting yes or no for you, right?
That's correct, yeah. So your name is on the ballot. There's no party affiliation. It is yes or no.
So let's talk about just the basic characteristics of a good judge. So in your mind, what does it take to be a good judge?
First, you have to have the temperament to be able to listen. Our job is to listen. And so I've proven that. My colleagues have said that to the Pennsylvania Bar Association whenever I was being rated. That is something that I enjoy, is listening to people. And then you have to be fair and impartial. You can't insert anything outside of the law, the Constitution, here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the Constitution of the United States. You can't insert anything outside of the law and our constitutions whenever you're making rulings. So you have to be fair, impartial, have the temperament to be able to be patient and listen.
And talk more about being patient with people, and how should you treat people who come into your courtroom? I'm just interested in the atmosphere of your courtroom.
Yeah, so it's Court of Common Pleas level. You have any type of person is coming in front of you. And so you have to take a step back and understand that this case is their case. It's not my case. And so this issue, no matter what it is, even if it is at the end of the day is not going to have any merit, this issue is important to that person. And so you have to have the patience to listen, even though legally they might not have grounds to stand You have to have the ability to listen, because they deserve an opportunity to be heard, and sometimes that's what they want, is an opportunity to be heard. So being patient, no matter who is coming before you, is vital in terms of getting good resolutions to cases.
And you got to maintain order in your courtroom, because a lot of these people are under stress, aren't they?
Oh, it's there are some courthouses where they do have therapy dogs that go through the courtrooms.
No kidding.
Really to cut the stress, and the dogs can identify individuals that are under high stress. We don't have that in Washington County, unfortunately. I would like to have a program like that. But yes, nobody voluntarily comes to court. And so the unknown is very stressful. You don't get an attorney because you want an attorney. You get an attorney because you need an attorney. And so just the situation itself, me standing, I have a standing desk on the bench, so I stand. It is all very intimidating coming into a courtroom. And so if you can just cut that stress, let them know that you're a real person, everybody in here is a real person. We're going to be patient, listen, and instruct both sides not to talk over each other, and we try to cut the tension and the stress as much as possible.
Well, that's interesting, Judge. Why do you choose to stand instead of sit?
My back.
Oh, is that it?
So it's easier on my back.
As you point out, that makes you even higher off
it does.
the floor.
It makes you higher.
I mean, there's some potential for intimidation in your courtroom, and you have to deal with that.
100%. Now, if I have witnesses that are testifying, I don't use my standing desk.
I see.
It. But if I have a kind of a day where I'm going to be supposed to be sitting a lot, and a lot of people are coming before me, that is when I use my standing desk, because I was sitting for 6-8 hours a day, and it's much better for me when I stand.
Now, let's get back to that therapy dog. That's interesting. You said you don't have that in your courtroom, but how does that normally work? I mean, is the dog wandering around the courtroom while the session is in progress?
So there's controls over it. The judge kind of determines. Generally, for an example, I know a judge in York County that has a therapy dog. That dog is under their control, and so in high tense situations, you do have to identify if individuals are afraid of dogs, or you have to,
of course,
you have to be sensitive to everything in your courtroom. But to have a therapy dog, these dogs are amazing. They're able to identify individuals that are under high stress, and they can go over and just sit next to them. And it has proven to really cut some of the tension in the courtroom.
Very interesting. Now let's consider your education. Where'd you go to law school?
Duquesne. So the Klein School of Law at Duquesne University.
And why did you choose Duquesne?
So I went to University of Richmond for undergrad. I'm from Washington County, so where I live now, and I knew that I wanted to work in Pittsburgh. And so I went back to Duquesne because I knew that Duquesne, now the Klein School of Law, has a great reputation for attorneys in the Pittsburgh region. So lucky enough, I was able to go to Duquesne, had a great experience, and it proved I was able to get a job in Pittsburgh, and it was great for me. What
interested you the most when you were attending law school?
Really, the breadth that you learn. So you don't specialize in law school. So unless you're going to become some sort of a tax or a patent lawyer, there's no general specialty while you're in law school. So you learn a lot whenever you're out in the field doing internships, working in various capacities to really learn what you want to do as a lawyer. Now, some people, Klein School of Law has a great night program where a lot of people work during the day, so they generally know their interest, or at least what field they think they want to go into. I didn't have the benefit of that, so through internships, through meeting lawyers, through networking, that is how I learned what type of a lawyer I wanted to be.
Now, after you graduated law school, I imagine your eyes are wide open, your ears are open. What was your first job after law school? What did you get into?
So it was civil litigation. So it's the same right out of law school until I became a judge. I worked for the same law firm day after I graduated.
And do you remember day one there? Did it make impression on you? Again, I mean, you've just graduated law school, and now you're out in the real world.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're nervous. Yeah, you don't generally know what to expect. You're walking into a building with attorneys that have 20, 30 years of experience. Now, the attorneys at the law firm I was at were fantastic. They really took me under their wing and educated me on the types of law that they do. And then so you take the bar in July. You don't get the results until October generally. And so you do have some time there where you can get caught up to speed before you are a licensed attorney. And so I took advantage of that. I learned a lot from them. And then, as soon as I got my license, I wanted to get in the courtroom.
What were some of the more memorable lessons you learned from your mentors or influences, whatever you want to call them?
Well, so we know who our clients were. They are plaintiffs that are coming to you. What you learn a lot is the law is the law, the facts are the facts, but every individual is different. And so you really have to have the ability to listen to these individuals, just like whenever you're a judge, just like when I was a legislator, you had to listen to your constituents. And so you have to make sure that you are at whatever level they're coming to you and you listen to them, because they, in their mind, it is their case, and it is the most important thing to them at that moment. And so being compassionate and listening to them, even if you don't end up taking the case, it goes a long way for an individual if you listen and are compassionate.
Let's talk about your campaign for Superior Court, and how do you distinguish that from any other political campaign? Because after all, you're not allowed to talk about the issues, are you?
Yeah, so we're very limited in what we can talk about. So whenever you run for a position like Superior Court, that legitimately most people don't know what the Superior Court does. Even less people know what the Commonwealth Court does. People generally have heard of the Supreme Court, but don't understand the nuances of the Supreme Court. So whenever you are running for a position like this, generally people don't even know what to ask you. So you have to educate them, let them know about your experience, let them know, why you're running, where you're from, those types of things, and people listen. And so, but it is much different than running any type of a political race. It is. They want judges to be fair and impartial. They want judges that are going to make decisions, even if they disagree with, that are going to make decisions that are sound in law and make sure that they follow the Constitution. And so it's a rewarding venture. It's one that I'm enjoying, but you learn more and more about people, and you try to answer any questions that they may have. But sometimes you got to give them the answer. This issue may come before the Superior Court. It's an issue that I am not allowed to answer. So, which sometimes they don't appreciate that answer, but it's the truth.
Sure. Now, as far as campaigning is concerned, this is a statewide court,
yes.
So there could be a lot of real estate involved in campaigning and use of shoe leather and driving your car.
Yes, there is. And, I'm fortunate to have a lot of friends from the legislature across the Commonwealth that assist me in this venture as well. But yes, we are driving all across the Commonwealth. The one thing, whenever you are a Court of Common Pleas judge, is you still have a docket. And so my weeks are very, very packed with work as a judge, and then the weekends are very busy driving and trying to campaign. Zoom helps, those types of things helps, but the hardest thing is it is hard on your family. Having a 9, 6, 4, and 2-year-old involved in every sporting event you can imagine, school event, it is very difficult to leave on weekends. I have a phenomenal wife, partner that has just done, she's accepting of this and has just, I can't be more grateful for her.
Let's talk about the PA Bar Association ratings program. They rate candidates highly recommended, recommended, or not recommended. And tell us about your ranking.
So I was fortunate to be highly recommended. The process is a very good process that they use. They have 3 individuals that do an investigative panel, and so you meet with the investigative panel. They have a substantive questionnaire that they issue you, and you submit a lot of writing samples, you submit your experience, the investigative committee issues your report to the full committee, and then you are interviewed by the full committee. I want to say there's 15 to 20 people. Some are attorneys, some are not attorneys, and I didn't know any of them. It is as fair and as impartial as you can get whenever it comes to a ranking system, and I was fortunate through my experiences and what they learned through interviewing me. I was fortunate enough to be highly recommended.
Now, you said you had to submit writing samples, and what was the content of one of those samples? Could it be an actual ruling, for example?
Yeah, they're all rulings. So there's a couple, whenever you're a judge court of common pleas, there's a couple things that you do. So some things you just write kind of a one-page memo on, other things you have to write a full opinion on. And obviously, if it does get appealed to the Superior Court or Commonwealth Court, then you are writing a full opinion based on your rulings. And so a lot of the samples I submitted were things that I sent to the Superior Court along with what the rulings that they made on my opinion.
What about the value of this particular system, the PA Bar Association rating program? What do you see as the value to the public? Since, after all, again, you're not allowed to talk about the issues.
Yeah, so whenever you have a panel of attorneys from across the Commonwealth and you have a panel of non-attorneys from across the Commonwealth, it is the best way to alert the public about how they believe you would be as a judge. And so I can't see a better way. I mean, we're campaigning, we're trying to talk to as many people as possible, but the Pennsylvania Bar Association has a lot of credibility when it comes to doing a fair and impartial assessment. And so people can really rely on and read about judges and how they interviewed and how their colleagues think about them, how other attorneys that come before them think about them, and it's a way that you can get a lot of information packed into one rating.
Does your campaign have any endorsements you'd care to tell us about? So
we're continuing. I'm unopposed in the primary, so a lot of this, waiting till after the primary, continuing to get a lot of labor endorsements, continuing to get a lot of endorsements from elected officials across the Commonwealth. But at the end of the day, the greatest thing that we can do is get our message to the public. Endorsements only mean so much. We're not counting on any type of endorsement carrying the day. We are going directly to the voters, making sure that they know I'm the best candidate for Superior Court.
We have about 2 minutes left,
yes.
And use that remaining time and tell our viewers why they should vote for you in May's primary.
Yeah, so running for Superior Court is a very important position. One, let me thank you for an opportunity to have a platform to let people know who I am. Coming from Washington County is an area that is a growing community, a community where I've seen every issue as a judge come before me, issues that are going to come before me as a Superior Court judge. My experience as a legislator really gave me the foundation of looking at the law, writing laws, making sure that the statutory construction of a law is proper, understanding the importance of words, and then becoming a judge and looking at the law differently to interpret the law. It has given me the experience that any voter can be confident that voting for me is a good vote for Superior Court. My colleagues, attorneys that I know and don't know but came before me, have indicated to the Pennsylvania Bar Association that I'm fair and impartial, that I listen, that I'm compassionate, and that I make rulings based on what is presented in front of me. And so I look forward to getting across Pennsylvania, talking to voters every single day, making sure that they understand the importance of this court and why I'm the best candidate and they should vote for me for Superior Court.
Brandon Neuman, Democrat for PA Superior Court, thank you.
Thank you.